Now friends, here I am having a question based on the basic properties of logarithm. Here the value of x and y is given and we have to find out the product of x and y. So if you are aware of the basic properties of logarithm, you don't have to go for even any sort of paperwork. I just write the properties that we are going to use over here. That's log. This is here it is maybe base is b raised to a and index is say p raised to q. So that will be actually q by a log p to the base b, right? So that is an important property. Apart from that, log x y to the base x into log x to the base y is 1. So these two properties we are going to use over here. Now x is what? Log of, this is cube root of 3. So that will be actually, I just write it over here, x is equal to, this is cube root of 3. So that will be 3 log 7 to the base 3. Similarly, y will be, this is cube root of 7. So that will be 3 log 3 to the base 7. Now we have to multiply. So 3 into 3, 9. Log 7 to the base 3 and log 3 to the base 7. So this property will be used. So 3 into 3, 9 into 1 will be just getting 9. Okay. So you have to learn this property, and in fact you must be knowing all the basic properties of logarithm. Friends, here the power a, that is, this is 1 by 3, right? So 1 by 3 in the denominator, that means 3 will be coming in the numerator, right? And q is 1 over here, that is 7 raised to 1 and 3 raised to 1. So do not get confused, just have some practice, so it will be cleared. Now let's see this problem. How many ordered pairs A and K are there for this for which the system of equations will have infinite solutions? Now, if we want the system of equations to be to have infinite solution, that means both the lines should be same. Each equation represents a line, and if the lines are same, that means one line lies on the other, then they will be having infinite solution. So what should happen in that case? The coefficient should be compared, like 3 by a should be equal to a by 12, and that should be equal to k by 48. Okay. Now friends, from these two we can find out the value of a, that is a square is 36, that means a is plus minus 6, right? Now from the two values of a we'll be getting two values of k, right? If we put one value of a over here, we'll be getting one value, and if we put the other value of a, we'll be getting the other value of k, right? So precisely we'll be getting two pairs of a and k. Okay, I'm sure you are clear. Now let's see this question further based on geometry. In the figure given below, angle BAC is DBC. BAC is equal to DBC. These two angles are same. AC is to BC is 3 is to 2. That means AC is, I suppose, 3K and BC, I suppose, 2K. If the area of the triangle ABD is 20 centimeter square, what is the area of triangle BDC? Now friends, here it is a simple problem based on the properties of similar triangle. I take this angle that's common between triangle ACB and triangle DCP. That means, and these two angles are also same. That means triangle ACB is similar to triangle DCB, right? That is AA similarity. So if two angles of two triangles are same, then both the triangles are considered to be similar, right? So in that case, what happens? The ratio of their areas, area of triangle ABC is to area of triangle DBC is equal to square of their respective sides. So that's 9k square by 4k square, right? So that's 9 by 4. Now, ABC is actually what? It is ABD plus DBC, right? So I write, instead of ABC, ABD plus triangle DBC. I divide by DBC. So that's 9 by 4. This is 1. So it's 9 by 4 minus 1. So that's 5 by, I just write it over here, 5 by 4. Now I have to find out the area of BDC. ABD is already given, that is 20. So if 5 is 20, that means 4 must be 16. So area of triangle BDC must be 16. A very simple property of similar triangle we have used over here. That is, area of similar triangles is equal to square of their respective sides. Okay. Now friends, here we have a problem from number system. If 24 raised to k is a factor of this expression, what is the largest possible integer value of k? Right? That means if we expand this expression and prime factorize that, we'll be getting 2s and 3s and 5s and 7s, right? But we have to check the power of 24. That means how many 24s are there. Now how do we get a 24? That is by 3 and 8 combination. Right? These two should be co-prime to each other. Be very careful about it. That means we have to make the combinations of 3 and 8, right? The number of combinations of 3 and 8 will give us the value of k, right? If there is one combination of 3 and 8, there will be 1, the value of k will be 1. If there are two combinations of 3 and 8, then the k will be 2, right? So what we have to do? We have to find out the combinations of 3 and 8, right? Now 5 factorial, how many 3's will be there? 1, right? We just have to take the integral part over here. In 10 factorial, it's 10 3 and 3 by 3 is 1. So in all, this 4, and in 15 factorial, 15 by 3, 5, and 5 by 3, 1, right? So in all 5, 6, this is 6 and 4, 10 and 1, 11. So it is divisible by 3 raised to 11. Now we have to check what is the power of 8 that can be achieved from this, right? Now to find out the power of 8, what we have to do? We have to find out the power of 2. So in 5 factorial, if I divide by 2, what I'll be getting? 2, and this 2 by 2 I'll be getting 1, right? So in all it's 2 raised to 3. I just write it over here, 2 raised to 3. Similarly over here, 10 factorial, 10 divided by 2, 5, 5 divided by 2, 2, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. So it's 2 raised to 5, 6, 7 and 8. Similarly 15 factorial, 15 divided by 2, 7, 7 divided by 2, 3, 3 divided by 2, 1. So 7 and 3, 10 and 1, 11. So in all it is 8 plus 3, 11 and 11, 22. So it's 2 raised to 22. But we are interested in power of 8. So 22, 2 cube is 20, 2 cube is 8. So I divide 22 by 3. So that will be 2 raised to 7. That is 8 raised to 7. Not 2 raised to 7, 8 raised to 7 into something, right? So that means highest power of 8 that we are getting is 7. And highest power of 3 that we are getting is 11. But the combinations will be formed by 3 and 8 common power, right? Because we are interested in only 7 3's, right? Extra 3's are not at all required to produce 24, right? So 3 raised to 7 into 8 raised to 7. That means what is happening over here? Maximum what you can get is 24 raised to 7. That means maximum value of k is 7, right? Now here friends, some time can be saved if you don't calculate the power of 3, because we are interested in combinations of 3 and 8, right? And obviously there will be more 3's than 8. So extra 3's are not at all required. We just are interested in 8's. 3 and 8 combination. So those many, as many 8's are there, those many 3's will be required, right? So instead of calculating the power of 3, what you can do? You can directly calculate the power of 8. And the other important thing over here is, do not directly divide 5, 10 and 15 factorial by 8, right? You have to divide them by 2, because whenever you have to find out the highest power of the factor of any factor, the factor has to be prime. the number has to be prime, right? If you directly divide it by 8, 5 factorial, 10 factorial, 15 factorial, your answer may differ. Okay, so it's an important concept over here. Be very careful. Okay, let's say this problem now. The product of three natural numbers n1, n2 and n3 is 12 times their HCF. How many ordered triplets n1, n2, n3 are possible? Now since there exists an HCF, I suppose that HCF is maybe k, right? That means a1 can be written as kx, n2 will be ky and n3 will be kz. So this is the product, that is k cube x, y, z, and that is 12 times their HCF. HCF is k, right? And x, y, z are co-prime to each other. So k cube x, y, z is 12k. That means k square x, y, z is 12. Now we have two possibilities. K can be 1 and k can be 2. Now if k is 1, then x, y, z must be 12. Right? So we have options for x, y, z to be 12 is 1, 1, 12. 2, 3, 3 2s are 6, 2s are 12, 1, 2, 6, and then we can have 3, 4, 1, right? So this can be x, y, z or x, y, z. So in all, this is a 3 factorial by 2. That's 3 sets from 1, 1, 12 we can obtain. 2, 3, 2, that is further 3. Then here it is 3 factorial, so it is 6. Here it is further 6, right? So 6 and 6, 12 and 3, 15 and 3, 18. When when k is equal to 1, so we will be getting 18 triplets. When k is equal to 2, that means this is 4. That means x, y, z must be 3. That means the single combination is this, right? So x is 1, y is 1, z is 3, or maybe z is 1, x is 1, y is 3. So in all this will be 3 factorial by 2. That's 3 combinations we'll be getting, or 3 ordered triplets, right? So 18 plus 3, in all 21 triplets are possible. Okay, I hope you are clear. Now friends, we have a problem based on logarithm. Looks to be tedious, but we don't have to solve the expression because it will be really a time consuming process. So what you can do is you can go by options. You just put the value from the options and just see to it. Suppose you put 1, right? So here it is 1 plus 4 minus 4. That means the base of the logarithm is coming to be 1. But the base of the logarithm cannot be 1 because that is undefined, right? So 1 is not the correct value. That means C is also incorrect, and now we are left with can't be determined and 2, right? So what we do, we try to put 2 over here. Let's see what happens. So it's 2 2s are 4 plus 8 minus 4. That means the base is 8 over here. And here x square minus 3x plus 2, that is x minus 1 and x minus 2. That means x is equal to 2 is a factor, right? So x minus 2 is a factor. That means if you put x is equal to 2 over here, it will be 0. That means 7 is to 0. That's 1. That means log 1 is 0. Finally, left hand side is 0 if we put x is equal to 2. Over here, x square minus 3x plus 2, same thing. If you put x is equal to 2, it will be 0. So 529 raised to 0 will be 1. That means finally log 1 will be 0. So if you put x as 2, both the sides, and on the both sides we are getting 0. So no paperwork is required. The answer 2 is correct. Okay. Now here, x raised to p plus 1 and x raised to q plus 1 is a factor of this expression where x, p, q are positive integers. What is the maximum possible value of p plus q? Now friends, obviously it is a GP with 40 terms. Because it's starting from x raised to 0 and going up to x raised to 39. That means there are 40 terms, right? So what will be the sum of GP? That's x raised to 40 minus 1 upon x minus 1, right? Now, if you factorize x raised to 40 minus 1, it will be x raised to 20 minus 1, x raised to 20 plus 1, right? Now x raised to p plus 1 and x raised to q plus 1 we are getting as factors. So x raised to p plus 1 is suppose this. Now it can be further factorized into x raised to 10 plus 1 and x raised to 10 minus 1, right? So this is suppose p, that is the first expression, that is x raised to p plus 1, and this is x raised to q plus 1. So the maximum value that can be achieved is 20 plus 10, that is p plus q is 20 plus 10, that's 30. Right? Very simple problem, friends. Now let's try this problem. What is the number of solutions of this equation? Do not try to put the value of x and equate left hand side and right hand side. You won't be able to get the proper solution of that, because this value of x that would satisfy this equation may not be an integral value, right? So you don't have much options to put up the value of x and match that left hand side is equal to right hand side. So what you should do, e raised to modulus of x is equal to 4 upon modulus of x. You can draw the graph of e raised to mod x and you can draw the graph of 4 by mod x. Then you can find out the point of intersection for these two graphs, right? Now what is the graph of e raised to mod x is somewhere like this, right? Whether x is positive or negative, y will always be positive, right? Because e raised to x, still it is positive, and e raised to mod x, so if you put the positive value of x or negative value of x, this expression will give the same value, right? So you can see for positive values of x and for negative values of x, we are getting the same value of y, right? So this is the graph of e raised to mod x. Now the graph of 4 by mod x, the graph of 4 by mod x will be in the first quadrant and in the third quadrant, right? So it's something like this. So this is the graph of 4 by x. Now x is converted to mod x. That means whether x is positive or negative, y will be positive only, right? So what we have to do? We have to take the image of this graph on the upper side, right? Now this is the final graph of this, and this is the final graph of 4 by mod x. This is the graph of e raised to mod x. So we can see 2 times they are intersecting with each other. That means solution of this equation, number of solutions will be 2. Okay. So to solve this sort of problems, you need to be clear with the basics of the graphs, right? Now we have this problem based on geometry. The diagonals of a quadrilateral ABCD intersect at O, AO, OC, PO, OD, DO, OC. The ratio is given, angle is given. So first of all, what I do, I draw a quadrilateral, just rough quadrilateral over here. Now this is a quadrilateral A, B, C and D. Now AO is to OC is 2 is to 3. This is O. AO, OC, it's 2, 3. BOOD 2 is to 1, BOOD 2 is to 1, DOOC 1 is to 2, DO and OC 1 is to 2. So precisely OC is a multiple of 3 as well as 2. So I can take OC as 6, right? Now this is if 6, AO is to OC, if 3 is 6, 2 must be 4, right? After that DO is to OC is 1, DO is to OC is 1 by 2. So if this is 6, this has to be 3, right? And here BO is to OD is 2 is to 1. So BO is to OD is 2 is to 1. That means if this is 1, this has to be, then 2 is to 1 ratio will be maintained. So we got the length of these sides. Obviously, these are the not actual length, some constant is being multiplied over there, but I'm not considering that because it's not at all required. Now angle AOD is 60 degree. This angle is 60 degree. If this is 60 degree, this will also be 60 degree, vertically opposite angle. Now these two angle combines to be 360 minus 120, that is 240 degree, and both of them will also be equal because they are vertically opposite. So this must be 120 and this must be 120. Now friends, we have to find out the length of CD and AB. I assume this to be X and this to be Y. Now we have the length of these two sides. So what we can do, we can use the cosine formula to find out the length of this and this. So cos, I just write the cosine formula over here. If this is the angle theta, cos theta into 2 this side into this side. 2ab is equal to a square plus b square minus x square, right? That means the third unknown side. So what is exactly x square is a square plus b square minus 2ab cos theta. That is the cosine formula that you can learn, because it is very useful. Even sine formula and cosine formula, both of them are very useful, right? Now here the theta is what? 120 degree. So we have to find out the length of this side. So x square is equal to a square, that is 9 plus 36. 9 plus 36 is 45 minus 2ab, 2 into 3, 6 into 6, 36. And cos theta, cos 120 degree is cos 90 plus 30, that is sin 30. Sin 30 is half, and it is actually minus half. So it's a plus by 2, that means it is 18. So x square is 45 plus 18, that means it is 63. Now friends, x square is 63, that means x is root 63, that means CD is root 63. So we just have one option over here, that's root 63 as the length of CD. But still we have to calculate the other length, because maybe this 7 is also a factor of 63. So maybe root 9 can be taken as common. So we need to go for the other calculation also. So the same thing over here. Here it is 4 square plus 6 square, that is 16 plus 36, that is minus 2ab. So it's 2 into 4 into 6 into cos 120 degree, that is minus half. So 6 4s are 24 plus 52, 76. So root 76 is to root 63. That is the correct choice, right? So using cosine formula, this problem can be done very easily. I hope you are clear. Now friends, we have the problem based on arithmetic progression. Here a1 plus a7, that is given to us. We have to find out the value of a16. Now the first term is a1. The seventh term can be written as a plus 60, right? So this is a plus 60 plus a plus 12d plus a plus 18d plus a plus 24d plus a plus 30d, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a, then 6 plus 12 plus 18 plus 24 plus 30. So I can take 6 as common, 6d as common. So from 1 to 5, the sum will be 5 into 6, 30 by 2, that's 15. So 15 into 6, 90, right? So it is 90d. So that's actually 372. Now what you want? A16, that means a plus 15d. So a plus 15d. Divide this expression by 6. So a plus 15d will be equal to 372 by 6. Right? Very simple problem. No need to go for any sort of shortcut and nothing, because to apply shortcut, that will take more time. Instead you can do it directly, right? Quite easy.